Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and today I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Sagittarius. If Sagittarius is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. Okay, let's get started. Okay, Sagittarius. Whew. came in strong there. Okay, let's see. Let's pull this away and see what this looks like in the negative space. Okay, I already see one heart, which seems like it makes sense. It would be coming up in the reading as we are on the eve of Valentine's Day. So, although this is a timeless reading, so whenever you're watching this, it is for you. But it is, we do have to, we do have to mention, I do have to mention, that it is, we have that energy, that kind of Eros, that, you know, romantic, just, I don't know, love feelings, the Eros, the agape, and all of the various forms of love floating around. Okay, let's see. So I want to start with the heart. I think this is going to be somewhat about love today. I was looking at different things before my reading. I do my own readings. I, you know, kind of set the tone for the day. I pick and then for the all my different readings, I pick cards. Today we had the Four of Wands, which in the Thoth deck is related to completion. So we'll see how that kind of ties into this love energy we have here. And this is interesting because not only is there the heart, and this person must be so much on your mind, it's in that emotional wellness, consciousness, kind of psychic realm right here. But then right above it, it is punctuated by this, by the little tea leaf here. And that is in, and I kind of bumped it. I'm going to bring it down just a little bit more so it doesn't fall out. But it is punctuated by this just circle. And its symmetry between the two peaks of the heart make me think that, you know, there's a very kind of balanced, tightly wound kind of security, consistency. This is somebody that you probably are in a relationship with, or you are working on the relationship, as in dating, courting. Maybe you've just been married recently, but I think that you are really putting your time and effort into not just being swept away, but really setting a strong foundation, feeding the relationship, feeding yourself and feeding them with these positive, you know, emotional, psychic, but also spiritual, I guess, how do I say this? You put a lot of effort into communicating, you know, getting to know each other deeper and deeper and deeper. And as you grow and change, continuing to know each other and learning each other over again, and going through difficult times together, honoring one another. And a big part of having healthy relationships too, is continuing your own self-work and healing. So, while that might not be the only reason you are doing the self-work and healing, self-discovery, is for your relationship, and of course we should always be doing it for ourselves, but it's very beneficial to all of our relationships, romantic or otherwise. So I think that you are really in a pretty good place with this person, and going forward with high hopes and open heart and open communication on both ends, and it seems to be very reciprocal. So I don't necessarily feel that you have a lot of anxieties or questions about where this relationship's going. I think you have a pretty clear idea of where you want it to be, and what you're willing to do to get there or continue to maintain where it is at. So that's wonderful vibes there. Okay, let's see. Now, what I do also see, and what I am I really get this vibe of, there's a lot of movement towards feeling a lot of strength and being firmly rooted, feeling, I get this almost impression of like strong posture, shoulders back, head up, really, meeting the day face to face, going forth with, good intention. Your will is there, and you are executing the things that you had planned and getting through all the unplanned situations that arise. Okay. And I feel like recently there has been, to some degree, it feels like almost somebody has been in your life that, and I almost get like maybe like a boss, management, something like that, or just your company in general, almost kind of feeling a little bullied or unheard, kind of things that you've brought up that either have been troublesome for you directly, or just kind of the culture of where you're working have gone just kind of, ignored. And I feel like you have this kind of, it's like you're working in a place where you're feeling a bit manipulated, a bit as though you're like almost like overly managed into behaving a certain way. And, I don't necessarily like to use the word gaslighting a lot. I think, things sometimes are more nuanced than just straight up people gaslighting each other. I think usually it's a failure of communication or, like ill coping mechanisms. I think sometimes gaslighting more has the it's more like a very intentional kind of abuse tactic or control tactic, right? But I think in this situation, it really almost feels like there is some amount of gaslighting happening. I feel like you feel this like kind of large beast that you're kind of working under, and being kind of pushed around into behaving in a certain way that is kind of outside of your comfort zone, or turning a blind eye to things that make you uncomfortable. And even something like you're working more hours than you were supposed to, or, you know, your pay is not equivalent to the work that you're putting in. And, you know, you're kind of being, you know, led into this place where it's like, well, are you a team player? It's, you know, you have a lot to be thankful for. You know, just really kind of behavior that really isn't, should not be acceptable in this day and age. Okay, so I think, and then I see over here we have this bird with the wings open, and I think that you just are really getting to your quitting point here pretty soon. If things don't change, I think that you really have advocated for yourself to some degree. That has not worked. You are probably either going to have to end up going over the heads of your immediate management, or, you know, to HR or whatever it is, and kind of sort this thing out. Or I see you maybe moving on to a different work environment, just because I don't think it's really in your nature, Sagittarius, to allow people to treat you this way. I, you know, understand, of course, we probably all do. We've all had job environments where, you know, it's not a reflection of who we are as people, but, you know, sometimes we we just have to do what we have to do to get by in those moments, and then find a better suited place for us. And I think you're kind of getting to that point where there might be kind of a pivot into a new work environment, or there's really going to have to be some amount of change in the job space that you're in right now. Okay, so let's see. Now, this is a really interesting grouping here. I'm seeing kind of a horse and a person sitting on the horse, and it looks like they're kind of moving. I see a bird, and then I see the skull of some kind of animal, maybe like a cow skull or a deer skull, something. I'm getting a picture of kind of a deserted area, okay? And for me, I think that this really ties into maybe some of the stuff that's going on in your career field, but I think it's carrying over into kind of this place where you feel like you're just kind of going along, and it's like this endless desert, you know. It's like, I'm sure we've all seen kind of those tropes of, you know, the old cowboy sitting on the horse and becoming dehydrated. There's like kind of a skull, and like vultures or scavenger birds kind of falling behind the person, because it's implied that they're probably going to die soon, or the horse is going to die, or whatever, and those birds are going to get at it. But I think in this situation, this is not about a physical death at all. This is kind of just a deep weariness, kind of a feeling of being very stripped down of just the vitality that you have had previously. This is just kind of like dragging on type of feeling. I feel like sometimes it's like you wake up and you just kind of sigh deeply that you even have to go to this job situation that you have going on. And I don't think that you're alone in that. I think a lot of people feel this way. And so I feel like, you know, there's an aspect of As I had said, I feel like you have advocated for yourself. I feel like it's gone unheard. And, for your own well-being, I feel that it would be good for you to kind of look around and see what else is out there. But if that's not possible, if you can't leave this particular job, I think that in the meantime, while you're still doing it, and I know you're probably tired and busy and barely have very much time for yourself, especially if you have a family. So you say, Lenore, please don't add one more thing to my plate. But I think that when we get into these places, it's very important for us to really go into either like alternative streams of income. So, finding some creative avenue where you can make a little money, maybe doing some stuff online, if, whatever. I mean, there's so many different things we can do on the internet. Just passive income, or not, it's not called passive income. It's like side hustles and things like that. And if you don't have time for that either, I get it. It's hard to get through a day of, gosh, being sick these last couple weeks, it's been, it just really has emphasized like how busy we are as a family here. We, are, scheduled from the morning until the evening every single day, and it's like we can't even get too much rest in there. But I know everybody's kind of living that way. So I think, looking for maybe something that can supplement some of your income, but even more important than that, just finding some things that it's going to like kind of revive the feeling that you are able to create and create more resources for yourself. And if you're not doing it for money, maybe, making art for commission, or trading with other people, go into a passion project, and, some things that come to mind for me are like making zines. I know that always made me happy when I was a kid. Or, I don't know, knitting, starting, I know it's the beginning of the year, but starting on some of those Christmas or winter holiday presents, it will be sooner than you think. So just really, I think, finding some things that you can do where you can see progress, and it kind of is empowering to be able to really look at things that you've made. If you can make a little money, like on, whatever, Etsy or wherever people sell things like that, that's a plus too. But as I said, adding another thing to your plate, sometimes that's hard, difficult. So I think the big thing, though, is getting out of this feeling that you're just kind of dragging along in this like desert, this, kind of just arid, harsh and cruel and deserted landscape that we feel, sometimes we feel like we get into when we feel a bit out of control of our circumstances. And I am no stranger to feeling like that. So also a big part of why I even started making videos on YouTube was just to have something for myself where I'm doing something new, something I really love to do, and I can interact with people, and to some degree it's just nice to be able to connect through the things that we're doing, that were our abilities, putting our abilities and skills to use, right? So let's see, we have a K here. This just rolled over. So my bowl is getting a little dry, but I want to get through some of this here. We have a K, I have an A, and then I have a heart. So some kind of feelings of, oh, and there's also a C right here. So we have the K, the A, the C, and so maybe those are 3 different people. Maybe those are initials for somebody, all 3, or 2 or whatever. So look for somebody. I think this is somebody that you feel some fondness towards, because there is this heart right here. Okay, and I'm just gonna move here. Sometimes when I'm sitting here, my foot starts to go to sleep on this certain, get on the edge of this chair, and it just kind of doesn't feel nice. Okay, let's see what else. Today this is so off topic, but I just saw it on here, like a little kind of butterfly, which I will always say is the metamorphosis, and I think that's beautiful. It's a beautiful sign of that change happening through will, but also naturally and with some kind of ease. Although you're working hard, obviously, you get no lasting change without putting a lot of effort into it, right? But there's also kind of like a natural guidance and support from the universe, kind of like that blessing on your head, right? And so I feel that that's really coming through. And just seeing that, it reminded me of this thing that I was reading on Reddit today, and they were talking about how dragonflies will like cut bees in half, and like somebody had witnessed a bunch of bees being like attacked by dragonflies at a beehive, and I don't know, I thought that was like super brutal. I love dragonflies and I love bees. So I was like, my goodness, I was taken aback a little bit. It's like, like when you're a mother and you hear your child's been doing something just, wow, Okay, let's see. What else? I also see, and I'm going to try to be delicate with this one, but I see this kind of very phallic formation here with the person, this kind of phallic energy here. And we will take this as a nod to fertility, which seems kind of like it fits with the holiday coming up, the St. Valentine's Day, but also the spring coming in. And, the sunny days we're having, I had the windows open today to air out the house, and it was beautiful, 40 degrees, and the windows are open, and sunny outside, and the snow's melting, and a little bit of hope for some vitamin C, vitamin D, and all of the others. So I think that, through these other situations happening, you really, really, maintained your relationship well. And I think that that's kind of just a real good balancing point in your life. It's going well. And I feel like there's just this kind of almost what you would imagine in a newer relationship, kind of a honeymoon period. But I think that you with your partner, are just very in love, and there's a lot of, I feel, attentiveness and respect and just admiration. And now I will say, if you are single and not dating, this could also be pointed towards you, you with yourself and with that fertility bit. I mean, that could be, any kind of, well, of course you can have children without a partner, but it could also be, just the fertile grounds of intense self-love and the creativity, the wellness, the just, I don't know. I think of like a very like beautiful and full, worldly and earthy and daydreamy and intoxicating kind of person who has spent time really just courting themselves. And you know, we know those kinds of people. I've interacted with people like that, and I really have always had almost kind of an envy for somebody who has spent the time and great energy, and sometimes the pain of, you know, self-healing, self-love, and learning to be with self. And so, you know, I don't want these readings to leave anybody out. It's not always just about if you're, you know, in a relationship with another human being. I mean, geez, you could be, you know, married spiritually to your personal deity or some kind of intelligence or whatever. I mean, I've also encountered those kinds of situations in my, you know, years in different occult systems. And so there are a lot of beautiful ways to love and be loved, right? Okay, and there's my kiddo getting wild. She has class tonight, and she's really getting ready for some song and dance. One of our favorite days of the week. Okay, so I see this beautiful foundation here, and with the square, it's squared away. It's fairly symmetrical. Okay, just some speckles. I think really just a matter of working out some of these, I guess, what would we call them? Emotional or spiritual impurities, like the little unrefined pieces. And I think that that's really tied to this, you know, mundane thing going on, which is the work and career life. And, you know, if you are not working, you may be retired, or maybe, you know, like I have obviously worked in my life, but right now I'm, I guess what you would call a homemaker or stay-at-home mom or whatever you like to call it. And, you know, these could also be your types of work. If you volunteer in your community, or, you know, I mean, there's so many different ways that this could be applied. But so if this is like a home life thing that I have been talking about, then, you know, maybe don't abandon the family life, but there needs to be some, you know, real changes, maybe in routine and you know, division of labor, and all the different things that, all of the different variables and things that go into having a stay-at-home job. Okay. And so again, you know, these readings are first and foremost for entertainment. Okay. And so none of this stuff is super solid in that these are exact details. Okay. And so hopefully what they manage to do is help you kind of consider and meditate and contemplate different situations that are arising in your life, or have arisen, or, you know, will arise. And I'm not a psychic. I feel that I'm intuitive for sure. But I just really want to be here to commune with you about things that are coming up while I'm looking at these images, okay? You know, if you are looking for a reading, and I'm kind of a little salty because I had a reading a few days ago, and I had some really kind of mean comments about it. And I'll be the first to admit to you that I am a sensitive person. So, you know, I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. I'm not a psychic or a medium or, you know, any of those types of things. So I can't really always tell you the direct details, but sometimes they do link up to some people. And if you hear things that make sense to you and they resonate with you, then this is a reading for you. It doesn't all have to make sense to you. It doesn't all have to relate to you. And that's why I also tell people to go and look at their other placements, because you might get one or two pieces from each reading that speak to you. Okay. So, yeah, I don't know. So I'm getting back to there. I feel like you're really working on that foundation. I think that a big piece of what is just really going for you right now in your mind, what you know, might even be keeping you up at night, really making you feel just like, you know, bummed to wake up and have to leave the house or whatever, spend your hours doing this work. Maybe you enjoy the work, but it's the culture or the people at your company or business or whatever. And I think that, you know, I think it's, if you are able to make a move, even if it's like a lateral move or whatever, it's so worth having the peace and, you know, just not having to obsessively think about these things or worry about them, or, you know, do mental gymnastics with the people that you work with. So, you know, I think that that's what I'm seeing in this. But foundationally, you're really good. You're really doing well. You know, there's the tea, some amount of tea here. I think there's obviously like a degree of emotionality, hard emotions happening. I think that you have a lovely support system in your close people. And so that's really a wonderful thing. Okay. And there goes a lot of the tea. I have new lights, and they seem to dry the bowl out really quickly here. So I also just wrote down something that I had read today. And for me, it's like totally such a positive affirmation. And it's just some silly thing that somebody wrote on the internet. And so it says, being insignificant is a blessing from God. And what does that really mean? You know, like, we're not insignificant. I mean, we're miracles, really. You know, our DNA has survived. All of the people who came before us survived against just, you know, unimaginable odds. Just for us to be in a place in the universe that supports the kind of life and consciousness that we have is also pretty amazing. So we're really not insignificant, but within the paradigm of our social kind of makeup that's going on right now, sometimes, yeah, it seems like it is a blessing to be a little person, right? To be somebody who sometimes goes unnoticed, sometimes, you know, just navigates through life in a way that isn't too big, too many high emotions, low lows, or, you know, and also just the relief of not having to strive to be, you know, something received by other people, right? So, yeah, there's some beauty in living that kind of quiet, anonymous life. And so anyways, I saw that and I thought I would share it. And it kind of is something that it released my heart a little bit today, from just feeling like, ugh, I don't know. I don't know why people go online and are mean to each other. So it was just something that I had to think about a little bit today and get over it. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Sagittarius. Thank you so much, Sagittarius. And I hope you are well. I appreciate you spending this time with me. I'm always so honored to bring these messages to you. If you'd be so kind as to like the video, it helps me get into the algorithm. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and do so. Hit the little bell button. It helps you get notifications for the next videos coming out. The next Sagittarius should be in about 12 days. In the meantime, you can watch your other placements. So your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign. And I know that some people watch their Venus sign as well. Let's see what else. Oh yes, leave a comment. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know how I'm doing. Please be nice. And what else? Yeah, I just want to send each of you lots of love. And yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll see you soon.